Welcome inside TD Garden, everybody. My name is Mike Petralia, joined once again on this bitterly cold evening by Josue Pavone.
The calm before the storm, Greg.
The calm before the storm. It explains why I'm wearing this vest.
Yeah, that's right.
To keep warm with the blizzard approaching. But the Celtics were the one who, and Terry Rozier in particular, who laid the blizzard on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Celtics with a very impressive 102-88 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers here on Wednesday night before a national television audience. This is the Garden Report, powered by CLNS Media and DraftKings.com. Go to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CLNS for one matching play with your first deposit of $5 at DraftKings.com. Again, use the promo code CLNS. All right, it was the Terry Rozier show, and I think what's most encouraging to Celtics fans, Josue, is all year long we've been saying it can't just be Kyrie Irving, it can't just be Al Horford, it needs to be some complementary players, and tonight Terry Rozier in the third and fourth quarter came up with some big three-pointers, with some high-energy slams. He really helped the Celtics put this game away.
Took it to him, Trags. I mean, look, 20 points, outscoring LeBron James. That's not something that any one of us predicted, at least not me, at least.
LeBron 19, by the way.
19, I would say 20 points. Better than 19. However, there was other guys as well, but Terry Rozier was the motor. You know, he's the one that kept that distance for the Celtics. You know, kept them well in front. I mean, LeBron James, he sat, about the last 7 minutes of this game? You don't see that all the time, especially in this building where he tends to be very, very successful against the Boston Celtics. I mean, Terry Rozier is just an example of that high energy that not only gets the second unit going, but gets everyone on the floor going. And he can do it on both ends of the floor. I think that's something we've seen a big improvement out of him, especially this season. Right. I think some of that has to do with Kyrie Irving, believe it or not. Maybe not just the defense, but I feel like his attitude and his confidence on the offensive end really reminds me of Kyrie Irving, the way he goes about his offense, the way he goes about scoring. Let's see if we can keep it up, Trags, but one heck of a night from Rose.
Really was. And, you know, obviously, let's not forget about the fact that this was the return of Isaiah Thomas. He made his season debut the night before in Cleveland. This was the second night of a back-to-back for the Cavaliers. Isaiah Thomas still taking it slow. The Cavaliers don't want him going, you know, full out in his return from the hip injury, and he admitted as much. He said, I wasn't going to come back in my first game, speaking to reporters before the game tonight. I wasn't going to come back in my first game in Boston and play just 17 minutes.
And I think they kind of needed him in that Portland game, you know, to sort of get his confidence at home, have his first Cleveland Cavalier debut in front of the Cleveland fans. I think that was something that really helped his confidence, and we saw how he performed. I mean, it made an impact. And, you know, I think that was really important for him and for the organization, and they needed to cut that 3-game skid that they had going into Portland. No need to rush the guy. Obviously, this team is built for the playoffs, built for a deep playoff run, so there's no need to rush it. And I think that they made the right decision in not having him play in the back-to-back. Made the right decision in not having his first game be in Boston, where it could be very difficult, very emotional. He had nothing but good things to say about the organization. He had nothing but good things to say about Danny Ainge, about the fans. I think it would have been very difficult for Isaiah to come out and score at a high level and perform at a high level with all those emotions going through just moments before tip-off.
So Isaiah Thomas asked point blank before the game, have you buried the hatchet with Danny Ainge? And he said, have I gotten over Danny Ainge? Well, he texted me last night, so yeah, we're good. We're good. You believe him?
I believe him. I believe in Trags. You know why? Because that joke he made about the Christmas card. I think that was Isaiah just showing everyone that, hey, all is forgiven. And honestly, I'm surprised. You know, I think that
a little bit.
I think it was inevitable, but I didn't think it would be this soon. I thought that Isaiah Thomas would sort of turn that corner maybe next year, maybe the third visit to Boston. He would talk about how he's spoken to Danny Ainge. I mean, his very first trip back to Boston, all those emotions I feel like was running wild. Got the text message from Danny Ainge. I think it just shows how much he really does love this city, really does love the fans. I think the backlash that he received on Twitter from Celtics fans hurt him a bit. I think that was something that really rattled him. He didn't expect that. I think the whole video tribute and him wanting it moved was tough in the way that the Celtics fans reacted, or at least a good portion of them reacted to him, calling him, well, you know, a crybaby and all that. I just think that it means more to Isaiah Thomas than anyone else for him to play in that game, for his family to be there, for them to, you know, recognize how this city ultimately shaped his career. It was the turning point of his career. At a time of his career where he really made that turn from almost an end of the bench player or sixth, seventh man off the bench to a perennial all-star. none of that would have happened if it wasn't for Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics.
Okay, there were two moments here on Wednesday night that really recognized Isaiah Thomas from the fans, the Celtics fans. One was when he came onto the court with about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Some really observant Celtics fans gave him an ovation, and it spread throughout the crowd. And then he fist pounded and fist bumped a few of his teammates at that moment. But then, very early, first time out in the second quarter, it was not a video tribute, but the video board crew here at TD Garden showed Isaiah Thomas in the huddle, and then he was shown on the board. The fans reacted with a standing ovation, and Isaiah Thomas, in a classy move, acknowledged the fans. So let's move on to February 11th. That's really, on the afternoon that Paul Pierce's number 34 will go to the rafters. I think there will be a bigger tribute at that time for Isaiah Thomas. Finish up here talking about how the Celtics put away the Cavaliers. Cavaliers came in still 25-12, one of the top three teams in the Eastern Conference. You wondered how, when the Celtics got up big in this game, could they maintain it, not let a team back into the game? And I thought they did a great job of that.
I think they did a really good job on Kevin Love. I know
he
that
started 0 for 7.
Started 0 for 7, finished, I want to say 1 for 11. I may be mistaken on that, but I think rattling him was huge for this team. He's been tremendous for the Cavaliers. A big reason, of course, next to LeBron James, why this team has been successful, especially throughout the recent stretch, or I should say before the 3-game skid when they were on that big winning streak. He had a lot to do with that. And when you saw the Celtics rattle him, especially right out of the gate, I think that it was an effect that you saw in the second half where he just couldn't get out of that funk. Really capitalized. The Celtics really capitalized on that. Out of that front court, I mean, aside from LeBron James, he really needs that support from Kevin Love, and I think that sort of got the ball rolling. The bench, of course, the depth. I mean, a lot of guys in double figures tonight. You saw even Daniel Tice, dropped back-to-back threes. I mean, just those little things I feel like can really go a long way in terms of bringing the bench together and everyone staying strong on the defensive end. Everyone held their part tonight, Drax.
Terry Rozier with a very important stretch late in that third quarter, hitting a pair of threes and a field goal, an 8-point stretch. Actually, at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime, as the Celtics really maintained control of this game throughout. The Celtics improved to 31-10 after the game. Al Horford even admitted to us he didn't expect the team to be this good after losing Gordon Hayward to those Cleveland Cavaliers on opening night. Halfway mark, they're 31-10, and Gordon Hayward said, "I didn't expect this quickly." And Terry Rozier said, "We've got bigger things ahead. We want to go farther than last year. We want to go farther than last year." Those were Terry Rozier's parting comments.
Right. And Trags, just one last thing before we get out of here. Just got a very special announcement to everyone. Trags is no longer on the market. I gotta embarrass him a bit.
Awkward moment.
He actually is engaged now. So all you ladies out there, I'm sorry. Trags is no longer on the market. He is off. Congratulations, Trags. Very proud of you.
Josue, you are the man. Stay warm.
He's so embarrassed.
I am. I'm kind of speechless, which is not my job here. But anyway, we'll wrap it up by saying stay warm, everybody. Soak in those highlights of the Celtics beating the Cavaliers 102-88 here at TD Garden. Terry Rozier with a game-high 20 points. This has been the Garden Report, powered by CLNS Media and DraftKings.com. Go to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CLNS for one free matching play with your first deposit of $5 at DraftKings.com. He is Josue Pavone. I'm Mike Petraglia. That's the Garden Report for CLNS Media.